Today we're going to go over a quick passage from the novel Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader, where Sidious is just kind of thinking to himself about Vader, about Padme, and there's a lot of interesting stuff in here about Order 66, about Sidious's intentions to save Padme, so let's go over that right now. Of course, it takes place just a few weeks after Order 66. Sidious recalled a desperate return trip to Coruscant, recalled using all his powers, all the potions, devices contained in his medkit, to minister to Anakin's hopelessly burned body and truncated limbs. He recalled thinking, what if Anakin should die? How many years would he have had to search for an apprentice, even half as powerful in the Force, let alone one created by the Force itself to restore balance, by allowing the dark side to percolate fully to the surface after a millennium of being stifled? None would be found, Sidious knew. Sidious would have had to discover a way to compel midichlorians to do his bidding, and bring into being one as powerful as Anakin. As it was, Sidious and a host of medical droids had merely restored Anakin to life, which, while no small feat, was a far cry from returning someone from death. For thousands of years, the ability to survive death has been pursued by Sith and Jedi alike, and no one has been successful at discovering the secret. Beings had been saved from dying, but no one has ever cheated death. The most powerful of the ancient Sith Lords had known the secret, but it had been lost, or rather misplaced. Now that the galaxy was his to rule, there was nothing to prevent Sidious from unlocking that mystery. Then he and his crippled apprentice might hold sway over the galaxy for 10,000 years and live eternally, if they didn't kill each other first. In large part because Padme Amidala had died. Sidious had deliberately brought her and Anakin together 3 years earlier, both to rid the Senate of her vote against the Military Creation Act, and to put temptation in Anakin's path. Following the murder of Anakin's mother, Anakin had secretly married Padme. When he learned of the marriage, Sidious knew for certain that Anakin's pathological attachment to her would eventually supply the means for completing his conversion to the dark side. Anakin's fears for her, in actuality and in visions, and especially after Padme had become pregnant, had been heightened by keeping him far from her in the Outer Rim sieges. Then it had simply been a matter of unmasking the Jedi for the hypocrites that they were, sacrificing Dooku to Anakin's rage, promising Anakin that Padme could be saved from death. The latter, an exaggeration necessary for Anakin's turn from what the Jedi called right thinking, for opening his eyes to his true calling. But such was the way of the Force. It provided opportunities, and one needed only to be ready to seize them. Not for the first time now, Sidious wondered what might have happened had Anakin not killed Padme on Mustafar. For all she loved him, she would never have understood or forgiven Anakin's action at the Jedi Temple. In fact, that was one of the reasons Sidious had him sent there. Clone troopers could have dealt with the instructors and younglings in the temple, but Anakin's presence was essential in order to cement his allegiance to the Sith, and, more important, to seal Padme's fate. Even if she had survived Mustafar, their love would have died out. Padme may have even lost the will to live, and their child would have become Sidious and Vader's to raise. And Sidious also thought, had Vader killed Obi-Wan on Mustafar, he might have attempted to kill Sidious as well. In fact, Sidious would have been surprised if Anakin hadn't made an attempt. Now, however, incapable of so much as breathing on his own, Vader could not rise to that challenge, and Sidious understood he would need to do everything in his power to shake Vader out of his despair, reawaken the incredible power within him, even if it came at Sidious's own peril. And that's just what I wanted to go over for today. The main thing is that I wanted to really touch on the fact that Sidious completely admits that even if Vader wasn't at the temple, the clones would have been able to massacre the temple, because I've done a lot of stories in my what if stories on my main channel, where I don't have Anakin go to the temple, and I've seen comments like, would the clones be able to actually take down the temple without Anakin? The answer is yes, from the mouth of Sidious himself. Anyways, Sidious also just goes over the relationship of Anakin-Padme, admitting he never had any intention to save Padme. He's cruel, and Anakin's, well, shouldn't have fallen for that one, big guy. Anyways, let me know what you want to see next. What do you guys want to see more of? Revenge of the Sith, any lore, like, most viewed video is Yoda Force Ghost, so just like obscure stuff like that. Let me know what you want to see. I'd love to do it for you, and I'll see you in the next video.